Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, East Coast, West Coast, North to South, welcome to Dugout Mug Studios. This is the Variety Sports Network, and this is the 7th inning stretch. Daren, take it away.
Josh Edwards, this is a interesting episode for me tonight because I have my athletics, all this crap in my background here with them in Oakland the last 56 years. We'll get into that, obviously, with Sacramento, not very far away from them. We'll get into that. Big news here, MLB-wise, and what this team is doing, what that looks like for them. We'll get into some other things as well as the young guns, I feel like, performing well here in the MLB. Some of my favorite overreactions of the week. Tyler McGurk, if you're out there, you're on the list, my friend. You're out there on it. He knows he is. So we'll get into that. We'll also get into your out there in your area, Missouri, the KC area. They have some stadium news to get into as well. Some second base drama, third base drama this week between teams. Josh, a lot has happened since opening day where we did that show. That was kind of fun, that live show here tonight.
Dude, it was so much fun.
We only got the one show, only the one game left. It's a blowout right now between the Royals and the White Sox. The White Sox, no surprise at this point, losing the Royals. They look like they're going to go on to win. They're up 10-1 against the White Sox. But so a little bit different that regard there with it. But a lot that went on this week. Obviously, we're busy, but your kind of takeaways from the first week of MLB.
Dude, there's some crazy highs, crazy lows. Some of our predictions look really, really bad right now, and some look on point. It's kind of been all over, and I wish I would have done a little bit more research before I did my season-long picks because obviously I missed a couple details.
I wrote them all down. We have them on video recorded.
Dramatically wrong.
That was like my guy Tyler last night. He's like, the Giants are. I'm like, we'll get into that overreaction with it, but. I was like, oh, man, I love it, the first part of baseball season. What I love about it is, like we talked about last week, like there is that overreaction to it. We'll get to it. But with that comes surprises and disappointments here. And, like, when I say disappointments like that, it's like, oh, well, you kind of were like, I thought that was going to be something we were expecting a little bit here. And then, we'll try to figure out different segments as we move along the show here. We appreciate anybody joining here on Variety Sports Network, 7th inning stretch, dugout mugs. Right, as well. We want you to get those as well. We want one 7th inning stretch dugout mug, Brandon. That's our goal here. So I'm going to figure out a way to get that on there somehow. You're right in the back there with it. Right
I guess
there.
Go right here,
right there,
or maybe right here. I don't know. It'll go right here where you can see it in the camera.
I was watching a lot this week. I was watching a lot. My son got the MLB show game. He's been into it. He's been watching the games. I've been listening on the radio. So for me,
I've been called up.
I
got promoted to AAA, and I've already been called up to the majors. And they re-signed me to a 1-year contract.
You got it with it. What do you have? I'll give you a couple of my surprises here. I mean, I don't think they're like completely shocked. The Tigers, like we talked about them being a little bit of a dark. Like I didn't expect. They played the Mets. They lost today. That second doubleheader. We'll get into Alonso a little bit later here, but. Tigers, the Pirates a little bit. Your NL Central, just a very competitive week from them at the beginning.
Best division in baseball right now.
Well,
they're the only division in the MLB right now that does not have a team with a losing record.
They are.
Everybody is 500 or better.
They are off to a good start. You are right. That Cardinals are 4-4, holding up the barrel there. The Reds 4-2. Mr. Martini said, "There you go, Doug. We got your Reds in there within the first 10 minutes. That counts. We got there with it." I just think there's a little bit. I've been surprised by that division. The Pirates, though, I haven't been too surprised by. I thought this was a year they could. I think they'll have a drop off at some point. I think this comes for this team maybe late in the season. But I like with O'Neal Cruz coming back. I said that I like them getting a little push to start the year. They get Jack Jones, who looks great as a young guy there with the young arm as well. So that's been a good surprise as well. So I have Pirates, Tigers as kind of my early surprises along with that NL Central there all together.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates and Tigers are obviously the two major surprises as teams. The other surprise for me is the Boston Red Sox at number 2 in the AL East. I don't think any of us saw that coming, and the Blue Jays and Tampa are at the very bottom of that division. Houston struggling out the gate. I don't think either one of us saw that with the Angels being on top of the AL West. The East looks pretty much like what we thought it would be, minus the Miami Marlins, who I toted all offseason as they were going to have a great year and not realizing 4 of their starting pitchers were going to be out to start the season. I knew
that might be
was out. I didn't realize the other 3 were going to be out.
That's a disappointment. They're on that list.
It's a huge disappointment because I was so heavy on them, and I can't put this on Skip Schumacher.
0-8, man. 0-8.
I mean, it's tough, and they almost got one today. They almost got my Cardinals in their home opener.
Minus 30, Josh, scoring as well.
Yeah, I mean, their pitching's been horrible. It's been absolutely horrible. The hitting hasn't been there. The defense is pitiful right now. But yeah, Pittsburgh up there. I mean, everything else is kind of shaping out the way we thought it was, but there's definitely been some teams that
I got my boy Tyler on here for a second. Tyler, your overreaction to Mr. Soul. Hey, like I love last night. I love that about baseball. It's kind of like Logan and us where we're text each other. It's like you get such overreactions in baseball. And I'm part of it. I'm like, I remember all the time. Like he's like Solaire's doing nothing. He's a sixer, and then he hits like a bomb 2 innings later. The Giants they end up not winning, but he's like Chapman sucks. I was like, all right, let's trade you JD Davis for Chapman right back. So all that great conversation that baseball like kind of brings up again too with those overreactions. With your Cardinals 4-4, that's been a little bit of I thought they've been not a surprise or disappointment. They've just been right there in the mediocre. But the I would say that the offense has been a little bit of a disappointment again.
A little bit. So okay, you know what?
Today
I'm gonna say
they
no,
picked
it's not.
it up, obviously.
I'm not gonna be a homer here. I'm gonna be honest. That LA Dodgers pitching staff is ridiculous. I knew they were gonna be good. I knew they were gonna be good.
Yeah.
I did not think they were just gonna come down and shut down a team out of nowhere. I mean, the Cardinals couldn't swing the bat the first 2 games. They couldn't hit anything. It was horrible. Third game was all right. Fourth game they should have won. But hey, they took 1 in LA. I didn't expect them to take any. We took 2 from San Diego, which I didn't expect either. So they're doing better than I anticipated.
You guys could have took 2. That Sunday night game was right there for you. That Sunday night game was right there.
Bullpen blew it. Bullpen was gassed after the first.
You were upset with the reliever decision there. That's all right. I like that. I like the passion we got. That was a good part with it. So you had that come with the game this week. How about for me? I also had Connor Joe on the Pirates. He's off to a good start as well. Yelich, I like it. Like I feel like Yelich is a weird one for me because he's off to a good start a little bit. He had a decent season, bounce back season last year. He's like the Brewers guy that got the big contract. Not saying he's having a great year, but it's been kind of a little bit of a surprise for me to see him just kind of. Are we getting full Yelich as there a year? Do we get 1 year of him back? Like I don't know. Like, am I starting to think that way about this guy again? Should I not get too Yelich excited here? Should I not get? No. All right. He's been pretty good though. He's been good for him.
Oh, he's been good so far. I just don't think it'll last. I don't think it's a long-term thing.
Man, the Rockies, they continue to suck it up a little bit as well with your Marlins, and then you also have the Astros get swept by the Yankees. That was a big disappointment, I thought, that week.
Yeah, those were better games than what you think, though, because of the.
They were great games.
They were great. They were close games. I don't. People were writing off and saying, "Okay, the Astros are done. This is their fall off season." I don't think that. I still think they're a playoff contender. They do have some holes. They have some holes in their offense right now and in their lineup as a whole. So we'll see what happens. But I still think they're there, come the end of the season.
Definitely a little bit of a disappointment though they lose. They have been a little better though. They got the no-hitter the other day, and then Alvarez had the 2 bombs yesterday. Kind of looking like he's back a little bit as well with it. Injury to Steele, he ends up going down. We kind of touched on that a little bit that week. I felt like that's kind of a disappointment. Surprise! How about Igamanga from the Cubs there? I can't say his name. I can't.
Shohei Imanaga.
You always got to say it for me.
I'm in the Midwest. You should be able to say this. You're on a coast.
Yeah, I can't say that. Anyways, he looked great. 9 Ks in that game as well. Yeah. I like how he was like in the nut. He wasn't in the sleeves. He was like in the wind. Everybody else was like there and like kind of there. And he's just kind of out there throwing like 94 miles per hour. We'll see. It was against the Rockies, so we'll see if that actually we'll see how that kind of plays out moving forward. The wind was blowing in. People kind of said that as well. Good start though for him as well. I don't know if that was a surprise. I kind of expected that, but I kind of wrote that down. And the 9 Ks kind of surprised me a little bit with that performance. He had a perfect game going for 5 2/3. So he was pitching really phenomenal. He was pitching really well that evening as well. So look at the standings here a little bit too. Like I said, your NL Central, Pirates, Brewers, Cubs, Reds. All you got the Reds and Cubs 4-2. Your Brewers 4-1. Pirates 6-1. The Pirates though. Are we taking them? Is this like I said? I think there's a good chance that they make a little noise. Is this first week give you enough ammunition, kind of saying, okay, maybe I'm buying into that?
No, not at all. I think the Pirates are going to make noise. I think they're going to be in it throughout the season. I think their youth is going to let them down at some point in the year, and it'll be, can they get back on track? That's what I want to see. Now, let's say the Pirates go into a skid in the middle of May and they lose 7-10, and then somehow they come back out and they win 7 of the next 10. Now maybe I'm buying in a little bit more. But I need to see this team stumble and recover, because this is what they do in the Central. The same thing Cincinnati does every year. They start hot, they stumble, they never come back.
And you're right. They did that last year too. They did that last year. You're right. Oh, yeah. The Jack Jones guys he did look pretty good against the Marlins. That was the Marlins we talked about, 10 Ks. Yeah, Paul Skeen's coming up at some point as well. So they do have.
Surprised he's not there already.
I am. I'm surprised Holiday's not there as well. It was a minor league team.
Holiday. We got to talk about Holiday.
Well, they scored 26 runs. Yeah. He has 2 home runs in like the first 5 games. And the minor league
almost had a cycle in one of those games, right?
It's still crazy that those guys can't be called up at this point. Like, it's just more of like, hey, it's a contract thing. We want to keep you down a little bit. We want to keep you 1 extra year. We talked about Soto a little bit. What do you think about? If Logan was on here, he'd
be melting.
My gosh. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, your guy, Jerry Jones, he was awesome for the Pirates. He was great.
Hi, Susie.
He was nasty. He would really, him and Skeens together, if they can stay healthy, that will be a tough 1-2 there going forward. If you're a Pirate, if you're a Cardinals fan, you see them on in the series, you're like, well, we better be able to get them out in 6 innings. That's
where's Sonny at?
Don't you feel that way about power arms? You're like, let's get them out in 6. Get them out in like usually you got to get them out, because those power arms can just dominate.
Get them out 5.
5 if possible. Susie, good stuff as always. Been always checking it out on your stuff as well. Good stuff getting us ready for the baseball season. I listened to her show she did after the Yankees Astros one. That was kind of it was funny for me, kind of listening to their perspective of it, but I knew they were frustrated with the 0-4 start there. But like we talked about just before, Alvarez got off to a good start. So Susie, big shout out there to you, Bourbon and Baseball, of course. With it, go ahead, Josh.
I was just saying, I've caught bits and pieces of their show, and she's doing a great job rocking it out. Can't wait to have you and your new co-host on, because I would love to do some Cardinals chit chat with her.
Cardinals right there, right there. What would you say? At last place. I always like that about the first week of the season. Last place, but 2 weeks out of 2 games out of first place, like my A's. We're in last place, but we're only 3.5 games out, still in it.
Closest you'll be all season.
All season with it. There was some good stuff. I have a lot of stuff going on at the ticker here with it from this week in baseball. A lot of stuff going on. If you missed anything from the week, took notes on it, we'll get you guys up to speed with some of that stuff with it. Going on. Juan Soto, like I talked about with the Yankees, he did look good, though. He made the big plays for him early on. I mean, he's one of the best hitters in the league. You get Judge behind you, you're going to be even better. I mean, I don't think it's a huge shock that he's making an impact with it. I think we'll see how the Yankees in terms of dominance plays out, because the roster doesn't feel the same as the Dodgers, right? In terms of spread out in terms of dominance. So we'll see how that plays out. But obviously Soto off to a good start with the Yankees here. He does look like a Yankee.
Oh, so let's say one on this is good. I'm saying this for Logan. Logan, if you're listening, turn your volume up so you hear me say this. He looks good in pinstripes. In the Yankee pinstripes. He didn't look as good in the San Diego pinstripes. So I want to say that for Logan. It's my shout out to Logan. But no, he looks great. He looks like he's fitting in. We've had a lot of conversation privately throughout the week about Soto. I don't know if he's a natural born leader, but he seems to be the key piece to this team to rally them together and bring a winning attitude to that organization. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see if the pitching can hold up and keep the team in it in the long term. But yeah, I mean, Juan Soto, he's got the best plate vision in the MLB, hands down. The guy just sees the plate better than everybody else right now. That's what makes him one of the best.
It really is.
It's not just his athletic ability and his ability to make contact. It's just he sees the ball out of the pitcher's hand so much better than everybody else right now. And he is a major threat. And if the Yankees do make a deep run, there's no way anybody on that team is the MVP except for Juan Soto.
It's pretty sick, his discipline in that regard with it. It really is. It really is. I always say Bonds for me was the one guy where I'm like, wow, just inside pitch right there. He knows it's a take. Like he just knows it's right there. The other guy, like Manny Ramirez, had a little bit of that for me growing up. Like where you just knew he had to play with it. Jordan Melinda tuning in there with it. Appreciate you checking in with it. Yes, your Cardinals got the dub today against the 0 and now 8 Marlins. My son, I told you, getting into it, we were at the Wolf House here in Cloverdale, getting a burger, and he had the game on my app watching it too. So it was kind of fun getting with it. Get rid of the Lakers. I like it. So Juan Soto looking good there with it. He throws out the runner at home. That's kind of the big play I kind of remember from the series as well. He gets his base hits. That's the thing I like about Soto is he takes like a defense gives him this, and he takes it once in a while. He's not always looking for the home run. So I think with Judge behind him, there is this like confidence. He's in the right spot. He knows he's on the verge of a big contract. So, and I don't think that's always a big deal. The year before a massive contract, he's going to be locked in. That's just how it's going to be.
Oh, yeah. And no, Dubin wasn't safe. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Susie. If you want to debate this, come on in. Come on, let's go. You'll make good for good TV, dealer.
Ex-Giant Mr. Dubon there with it. I don't know. I just think like his approach at the plate, along with Judge's approach at the plate, gives him such a man. Well, it's just quite a duo though, back to back. I don't know how we'll see if Torres and those other guys can stretch out the lineup enough, like these guys on the Dodgers are capable of doing. For Mookie and Freeman and Ohtani, so that would be the one question for the Yankees going forward, along with obviously Cole not being there, and can Cortez pick it up from a couple of years ago? Like that would be the big thing with there too, and Rondon too. So I don't know.
The Yankees just have the difference between the Yankees and the Dodgers, in my opinion, are the Dodgers, even with the guys they're missing from what we know are going to be their everyday roster come the middle of the season or back half of the season at least. They still look more stable and they have more depth than what the Yankees look. And that's why I can't believe in the Yankees.
No doubt. Too much Yankees talk already? No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we got that. We got too much. Is that too much Yankees talk to start the season? But the viewers like it, right? We got to go. Part of it, what the surprises and disappointments. Now that requires me to put up.
You just put the camera on your face.
That's gold right there. I like that, Susie.
Man, I mean, I love her, man. She's awesome. Good. She doesn't hold back. You guys, if you don't watch Bourbon and Baseball, go check it out. She's fantastic.
Let's go, baseball. Check it out, Bourbon and Baseball. Let's go. Baseball always provides good entertainment with it. So we got a lot of big games with it. Royals they pull off the win today. The Mets, Tigers, they had the doubleheader. The Mets, Tigers split today in their game today. What do you think of? What do you make of the Astros as that disappointing? Susie's on with this. I had it as maybe a disappointing series, but then you get Alvarez going a little bit yesterday. You get the no-hitter from Blanco. Altuve continues to is there any guy that sees – he goes, he just knows left field is there. He just he boogie whips every little thing that's on the outside corner. He just just boogie whips those babies 317 feet. Right over that thing. And nobody else, he's the best to do it at that stadium. There's been a lot of good guys that do it there. He's the best at it.
I mean, yeah, I got no argument on that one. I just don't have an argument for it. Hey, my bullpen has a game this year, Susie. So I feel your pain. No, he's just got this touch. He's got this ability. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Worst case scenario, second, I guess. But I mean, he's
how he hits it over.
He's ridiculous. I mean, he's a great player, and I think he's underrated. Can I say that? Can I say he's underrated?
I don't know. His base running, according, it wasn't that good this week though, as well with it. So I just found it fascinating that little part when I'm watching him hit. I'm just he just has his knack to that at that stadium. He just knows that just got to hit it just a little bit the left field, and he knows how to get it out. It's like those guys at Yankee Stadium. Right? Yeah. The Giambis for a while over, the Tino Martinez for a while over, the Bernie Williams, Derek Jeter hit those out over there in the right field. So you have those, they kind of know that stadium with it. So Blanco gets the no-hitter as well. I'll get into that a little bit in Diamond Notes with some of that, but 355th no-hitter, I believe it was, maybe a little bit around there, MLB history. Pretty crazy to think about, though, that's where of all the time of baseball, that's still not that many no-hitters if you look at all the guys that have pitched every single day. So to be on a list like that, and to go 9 innings. That's the thing I liked about Mr. Blood. It wasn't this these crappy, like he goes 7 and the bullpen goes 2 type of deals.
Yeah, I don't like those combined. No, those to me they don't count. I mean, it's a cool team feat, but
They
that
don't
shouldn't
count
be
at
like
all.
that should not be a stat that's recorded.
Participation trophy, Josh. That's
I
right.
hate participation trophies. One of the worst things that's ever happened to America.
I
You
didn't
showed
like
up,
that.
you get a trophy.
We get that with it. That's all you get with this participant. 105 pitches he pitched. That's what I'm saying. He pitched unreal. Like, if he really
And that's a low pitch count for 9 innings still. If you think about it.
How about the Guardians 6-2? Stephen Vogt saying, "What an offense!" I mean, I know they haven't. They played the A's in the first 4 games of that count, but I mean, they do look a little better on offense. But that's one team where I need to see. Give me a month. I need more than this time to kind of judge a team like this.
I mean, so what in the
I know,
pitching
the thing
category?
is, they have
Bieber,
right?
they have Walker, and then they have what's the closer's name? Logan wanted him to come to St. Louis the whole time. Clase.
Yes.
I got the right guy, right?
They have a good guy. Yeah, they have good players.
But that's really all they have. They don't have anything beyond that, do they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what makes me question it.
Yeah, then they put 8 runs on Kirby. Their offense has been great, and Stephen Vogt, obviously, I like as an Oakland A's guy here. Like, I like him out there with it. He said the offense is kind of really feeling it right now. We'll see if they can continue it. The one thing I said about this division when we previewed it is, like, they have the best player, in my opinion, in the division. They have Ramirez. Like, he is the best hitter in that division. He maybe can play a difference along with these other guys.
For now, he's the best hitter. Somebody's about to pass him.
We'll see.
Hot take: Bobby Witt will be better than him by next season.
Yeah, I mean, and they got off to a few hot starts a few years ago. They had Quan get off to a hot start. He batted like 314. So we'll see if they can sustain this. But they do have Ramirez. That is the one guy that they can always depend on to be just a beast in the middle of the order. So we'll see if that's enough in a weaker division, we think, to carry them a little bit farther, and they're off to a hot start in that regard. Yeah, I just don't understand. That's the thing with baseball. You don't always have to. That's the beauty of the game. We don't always have to know where the runs come from, and that's where your Astros will still be. It's just
that baseball. Was my reply to that. It's just baseball.
There it is with it. Josh in the chat there with us on 7th inning stretch. So we're talking disappointment. Soto with it as well with it. My A's moving to Sacramento. I feel like that's it's got to be a little bit of a big deal, right? Like, you're having a franchise move to Sacramento for 3 years. Kind of an odd deal where you have this team just get up and leave. We talked about it for a while on this podcast. Officially has happened. They end up going to Sacramento. It's kind of a weird deal because the Sacramento area had the same kind of situation happen with the Sacramento Kings, and they were looking like they were going to get moved to Vegas, or at least out of the area. And they get saved at the last second by David Stern and the last company. They stay in Sacramento. Oakland A is not as fortunate. I don't know. Like I said, I'll put it to you like this. I'm not going to be here. I tune in Sunday morning if you really want to hear me biatch on the Bay Area side. I'll just put it to you this. I've been to over 200 events at that stadium. Easily. Not even, way more. My dad had season tickets for Raiders games for 17 years there. I went to many A's games there. It's countless. I mean, those Wednesday hot dog games, I think I was there every Wednesday in the 2000s from 2006. I was there. And then, my son had his Make-A-Wish Foundation there with the monster truck rally. So that stadium itself, that core area, all these ticket stubs, these pennant, it comes from a deep core of like enjoying something that you grew up loving, right? Like, I would listen as a kid, listening to radio games of A's, Bill King calling the games, like, and then I could go to the game like that next day if I wanted to. Like, they were only an hour and 10 minutes away, and I could get there. So for me, I understand that conversation with Ryan on. We were kind of joking about that, like with like the whole like, well, they're out. Maybe Vegas is a better spot for them overall, but I'm telling you, Susie, you had the guy on from last dive bar. We kind of texted or DM'd a little bit today when we were Twitter is like, there is a fan base there. It's just really been abandoned, honestly, for the last 25 to 30 years. And when you do that, you do it from a national perspective. You do lose that. But like, I'm 39. I've been a real hardcore fan for 30 years. So like, I see it differently than a lot of people. and I spent a lot of time watching these games. Like there'd be summers where I would just be home knowing the A's played the Royals at 4:10 on KICU, and I'd be waiting all day for that game, and I could watch it. You know what I mean? So like that for me, it matters a little bit. So it's I knew it was coming, but it's still kind of sad still.
It's like any time when something in your life that you love goes away, but you know it's coming, and you're just waiting for the day for it to take place. It's everybody knows what you're feeling. They're just feeling it. They've all felt it in a different way, and
It's tough, man.
if they put in their perspective, they'll know where you're at. I know where you're at because I had to go through with football.
Yeah.
You know, I lost a football team. It sucks. It rips your heart out. You spend all that money on merchandise and going to games and all the memories made, and you know it was a part of your childhood, your foundation, part of what brought you to the love of baseball.
I'm doing
And
17 stretch, baby.
I mean, it feels like it's being ripped away from you, man.
It
But I
is.
mean, how
It
far
does
away are
feel.
you from Sacramento?
I'm actually close. I'm basically the same distance. I'm basically, and that's the thing. Like Oakland to Sacramento is an hour, like like a drive from me to Sacramento, where my sister lives, an hour and 10 minutes. But
So you can still go to the games.
I can still go to it, but it's still the idea of like it's just Sacramento bailing out this owner a little bit for the
That's
idea
the aggravating part.
where they might get an MLB expansion team when they almost had an NBA team ripped out of their city not that many years ago. It'd be like, I don't know, whatever city you are 1 hour away from St. Louis, it'd be like whatever that next big city is, which isn't maybe even that big. That's what they would go to, and that's what
we
they
don't have
are.
one within an hour.
So it's an odd deal here, and Susie, I appreciate your interview that you did with the last dive bar there because like I said, I appreciate those guys really kind of holding up the fan base a little bit because we've been beaten down. I said, like, when you let go of players for 30 years, you're not gonna. It's tough, like, you know what I mean. Like Jason Giambi won the MVP in 2000. He was gone 2 years later. Miguel Tejada won the MVP 2 years later. He was gone. You know what I mean? We lost Tim Hudson. We lost Mark Mulder. We knew Zito was gone at some point. Like, these are good players that you had to get off your roster because you knew your owner wasn't going to pay him. And that was way back then. And so, like,
Yeah.
for me, this deal is just, it's more of a reflection of the ownership. I'm curious to see, I always will be, when they go to Vegas, will they actually spend? I still hold my doubt that they'll still be in the Brewers Pirates range of spending, which is like, we'll sign Yelich, and that's like when they signed Eric Chavez, though. Like I said, it wasn't like, it's not a big deal. So I don't know. I'm going to take my son, me, my son Xavier, and my son Derek, and my wife, and my family. We're all going to go. My sister, we got a big family, big group of, like, I think we have 30 to 40 of us going. Because, I mean, we all live in this area. Like, my huge fan. We're going to go in August, first week of August. We're going to meet in the Bay Area. We're just going to go. We feel bad about having to pay the owner the money, but at the same time, it's like we just want to go one more time to kind of enjoy, like, where we all spent a ton of time as a family growing up. So for us, we're going to do it one more time.
I want to thank all 50 plus of you that are in here on the show right now. Please, if you have anything to add, get in the comment section. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us we're stupid. Tell us we're right. Tell us what you guys want to hear us talk about because we can bring things up on the fly. So thank you for everybody for being here. Keep coming in, jump in those comments, and keep the show interesting with us.
I appreciate you guys listening to my A's ranter there. But as a passionate A's fan on seventh inning stretch, I feel like that's what we can do here. Like, I want to give you the perspective as an A's fan, somebody why I'm spending time doing this show. And it hurts tonight. So tonight, that is what it is. But they're going to Sacramento. Yeah, I can still see him play, but it's like, for me, it does lose luster, Josh. It just is what it is. So we'll see how that kind of goes from there with it. Like I say, like I love it when Logan said, I'm like LeBron James. I'm gonna pick my fandom. I'll have to do an episode where I take my fan talents too, and I'll do that episode with it. You got to go one time. It's not a great looking stadium, but man, I mean, you can there is an aura there with it. So we'll see what happens. So it's a great spot with it. So but I don't want to pay Fisher. That's all right. You got to go one time. You got to go one. It's got to go. I got to get over there with it too. The thing I'm gonna go where my dad. The thing is too, we bought the tickets where my dad had the Raiders tickets. So like he was in like section 217. So we're all gonna be in that one area. So it's not obviously it's down the third base line at the A stadium. It would have been the opposite of the black hole for the Raiders games. So it's that third base side of the A stadium. So we're all going to be over there. So that'll be a good time. But that'll be a ways away, and be sure I'll be reporting from there at that time.
Who they playing that game?
Oh gosh, I don't even remember. I'll have to look it up there. But I do. I don't even know. I just know I've tried to get people together to go.
Well, I'm gonna have to see if it's on MLB Network and I can watch it. I'll have to look for you if you
have to
if
look for it. I'll
it's
send
on.
you to with it. What do you think about the Royals? They might be moving out of their area too. Is this a trend? And then you have the Brewers kind of getting their thing with it, and you have there was another team too. Is it the Diamondbacks? Maybe they had kind of their owner come out at the beginning of the year. This Royals one's a little different though. We have Jackson County reject it. Owners should pay for it. That's what they're saying.
Okay, so here's where I'm at, and I 100% support the voters, 100,000%. And this is crossing sports lines here. When the NFL let the Rams move and build a privately funded stadium in one of the most expensive states in one of the most expensive counties in America, that was a message to all fans everywhere. Owners don't need your money. Keep your money in your pocket. That's all this is, in my opinion. And the voters out here said, no, you guys have already screwed St. Louis. We're not going to vote to give you any of our money. Absolutely not. And I'm proud of the fans for standing up and saying, screw you. Pay for your own stadium.
What do people in KC think about? Like, you work, how far are you from the stadium?
Oh, I'm 3 hours.
Okay, but you're still in the area.
I have 2 diehard KC fans that I work with. They're from KC that they live out in central Missouri now. They're on the same page. They would have voted against it if they lived there. They don't like it. And the big conversation, and this was a lot at work today, this morning, first thing when, around the water cooler, as you would say back in the 90s. Conversation was, the Royals really screwed this up because, they presented these 2 plans of where they wanted this location to be and what they wanted it to look like. And then right before, I guess a month or 6 weeks before, and they're like, oh, no, we're not going to use those 2 locations. We want to go here instead.
Yeah, exactly. It looks the stadium they had set up, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's going to be a lot of suites and a lot of VIP spots, really, is what it's going to be. It's not anymore for the common fan to be able to go and sit. That's the problem. And it's the same thing the Chiefs did. That's what the whole Chiefs wanting to move. So the Chiefs are going to probably end up in Kansas, just so you know. They're going to move out of Missouri and probably over to Kansas because theirs got shot down because they tied the 2 together. So if the Chiefs probably wouldn't have tied it with the Royals, the Chiefs, from what I understand, and I could be wrong. So if anybody from KC over there knows better than I do, please chime in. From what I understand, if they would have split them, the Chiefs might have gotten their money for their new stadium. But it was the fact that the Royals kind of moved things around last minute and weren't consistent. And I think it also goes back to the fact that they know the owners have enough money to build their own stadium and they shouldn't use taxpayer dollars.
They should do it. Like, I mean, you look at that complex. Like, these guys are making more money hand over fist than, like, it's ridiculous. Like, they don't need like that much of a bailout. They maybe okay. You want $100 million? We'll give you that. But you're not asking for that. You're asking for a lot more in these cases. Yeah. Well, last quick, I wanted to say I was Fisher with it today, and he went to Sacramento to the stadium where it's going to hold 14,000 in Sacramento. That's what it is. So a minor league
might get a sellout.
Maybe a minor league a minor league payroll going to a minor league stadium. He goes there to do the interview with Dave Cavill. He says, I can't wait to see big sluggers like Aaron Judge hit home runs here. Talking about a person that has an idea of what he is doing, who he's talking to there. So I want to send that. D-backs, you're right. Susie, you're right. He did take that out of context, but I think that's a little bit of my frustration. I want to add more teams to this list. That's part of it with it. But the Brewers, I know, was a real deal with it. With Ruiz went down too. I don't know if you heard about the wristband. Everybody's joking about that in Oakland because it wrote last dive bar. He had that on his wrist. He got sent down. He's batting .427 the first.
Is that why they sent him down?
We're speculating. We're starting to speculate. That's why it was.
They really don't want to win at all.
We kind of consider him like that Indians movie. I feel like that's what it is, Major League. Like I almost I always feel like, what would it be? I know they won't win it, but like if they somehow did win it, like just like how MLB Robert Man. All right, congratulations. We're moving to Sacramento.
You know what? That's what I'm going to root for the rest of the year. I hope the A's just say, you know what? Screw the ownership. We're going to do this for us, and we're going to smoke everybody. I would love it.
But just like that would be something like the best awkwardness of all time, like handing it to Fisher at Oakland Coliseum as they're leaving. Like, talk about just a whole. That'd be like the one scene that would just be. Talk about live-in infamy. That would be one of them for sure. There with it. So you have your Royals in your area. We'll see what happens with them. But it also affects NFL side too, the Chiefs, because they're right next to each other too. So
Right.
it is a little bit of a big deal, I said, for the people that live in that county. Like you said, like people are like, well, Sacramento's not that far. It's like, well, it's still not Oakland for me. So it's still not the same. You know what I mean? Like there is that fandom that you kind of attached to a little bit there with it as well. Seventh inning stretch, like Josh said, appreciate anybody tuning with it. Appreciate you turning in as well. Traveling board gamer here with it. Always appreciate that. Yep, always appreciate that with it. Always, that was great insight last week. I really liked that the insight last week on the show was good stuff there. With it, how about that play at second base with the Brewers and the Mets? It kind of happened a little bit. I think it happened on Saturday, I believe, maybe Friday when we got off. But what did you make of it? I'll try to get it up on the screen here as we're talking about it. But did you see that play by chance where Hoskins he's going into second base, kind of slides? A lot of people had a big issue with that slide.
You're talking about the slide on opening day.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the opening day there with it. I'll get it up
With
here.
benches cleared?
Yep, benches cleared. Yep, McNeil got all upset.
That.
Yep, that's the one I'm talking about. I sent it to you.
I didn't have a problem with it. That's baseball, baby. I mean, he goes to the back foot, which is why I don't care. If he would have gone for the front foot, then I would have had a problem with it. But he went to the back foot. That's good, hard baseball. Like, this is what we need. Like, how exciting? Okay, hold on. Let me rant for 1 second. How exciting has the MLB been for the first week? How many benches have been cleared? How many fights have we seen? How many guys have
Blue Jays Rays one?
I mean, this is the most exciting opening week we've had that I can remember, because it's been exciting. There's grit, there's anger, there's frustration, there's
passion.
There's passion. Yeah, exactly. There's passion. Now this crap right here kills me. If you're gonna come out of the bullpen, get your ass moving and get up there and get in it. Don't walk up like you're strolling. Run. Go knock somebody out. Throw a few punches.
Well,
like a good old
I think it's because McNeil was kind of acting like a little bit crotchy. A little bit crotchy, as I like to say. Like just like crotchy is the way. A little bit was a little crotchy. I thought that's what it was. Thought he got a little offended instead of just playing some baseball. Maybe it was a little late. I agree. But I thought he took it to a level where it's like, where if I'm coaching, like I have the kids sometimes when I'm doing PM, like, yeah, you're tattling on them beyond tattling on them. Like, yeah, you're annoying. Like, that's why this came out. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, like you made this a way bigger deal than I thought it was. And that's kind of what I thought too.
That's good.
I don't know what you think of that. I just thought he took it over the top.
Oh, I completely think he took it over the top. And I would have beamed him his next at bat because of his reaction. That's me.
Well, they tried to beat him that one time, but they waited till the seventh inning. A lot of people had an issue with that the next day.
No, that's when they tried to beat Hoskins. I'm talking about if I was Milwaukee, because of McNeil's reaction, I would have thrown at McNeil his next at bat. I would have given him something to really cry about. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that's bad. I mean, the cleats were up a little bit. I just think he should have moved out of
I just think McNeil was lazy there.
Oh, yeah, he was absolutely lazy. No, I didn't see the John Boy breakdown. I'm sure Logan did.
No,
Logan's John Boy's biggest fan.
Yeah. No, I just thought that was part of it where I thought like they could I don't know. I thought it was that was maybe one of my most favorite plays from the opening week just because of it kind of made me think of hardcore baseball a little bit. I loved it a little bit. I was like, all right, I love that a little bit. You give me that all day with it. I have this one. This one kind of cracks me up. I think this was from they had from 50 years ago or something like that happened. So I thought it was funny to get this up on the screen. It was like a Reds A's World Series.
Oh yes, I saw this one. Now that you have a legitimate complaint about. That's legit complaint. That's a it's not even you can't qualify it as a slide.
I did see the John Boy breakdown, by the way. It was a good breakdown, as he always does. Yeah, that is to me. And then I don't know if you saw my one on Twitter. It was going to be one of my videos of the week, where I had Randolph. He gets taken out at second base.
Oh yeah.
With it, I thought that was a good one as well. So, when I see it, I know that's jokey 50 years ago, but when you see something like that, it's like, all right, man, what are we really what are we complaining about when you see somebody get lit up like that at second base? So I don't know. I thought that was funny.
America's gotten soft.
Oh, there you
All
go.
of our sports have gotten soft. All of them have gotten soft.
my wife, I asked my wife, I said, I got home from, she brought home through the garage here a Teddy Bruschi for me to do a baseball podcast. What a lovely wife I have here on
What a great wife.
I got to give her a little credit here. And I'm doing it in one last fashion. If people don't know, I'm drinking out of a Let's Go Oakland cup here with my A's, just to kind of give you a little bit of a report here. Pretending she understands tonight's a 10th night. There might be there does need to be beer involved in the episode. So that is happening tonight, people, just to let you know. The Mets not off to a good start. My guy CP, our guy Aaron out there. I thought the Mets would be a little bit better. My guy Marte, I thought he'd be a little bit better. They're off to a rough start. They're off to a rough. I always feel like with these East Coast teams too, like, and sometimes like the White Sox are going through it. They're not as good, but the weather delays with these teams is so odd at the beginning of the year. I don't know. I always feel like that messes with them.
I feel like that works to their advantage.
Really?
Dude, I would rather have the makeup games and play doubleheaders in the middle of the summer or early spring or late summer than play in the spring.
See, I don't. At the beginning of the year, I would hate the idea of not playing games. Hate it. I would be so disappointed that first month. I mean, I remember as a fan, I'm like, what? We're rain delayed out. As a player, I'd be like, are you kidding me? We're out. Like, I mean, maybe there's games maybe where it matters, but that usually I feel like matters more in the summer.
If they were division matchups, it would be better because then you can just take division series and turn them into have doubleheaders.
I don't know. That's a tough one. What do you got with Young Guns? I thought it was a good part of it. You talked about Holiday in the minor leagues tearing it up with it too. If you want to go there with it, what their team scored 26 runs. Their AAA team.
Something
I saw their four hitter had 10 RBIs in the game.
Ridiculous.
Jack Jones from the Pirates, as Susie mentioned earlier, Churrillo, youngest brewer to homer since '88. He looks – sorry, Josh, you're going to deal with him for a little bit in this division. He looks like the real deal. He really does look like he's going to be a stud. Doesn't mean they won't necessarily win, but he does look like he's going to be good. Yeah, well, at least we don't have to lose today. That was so good. That was 26 runs on 29 hits. It was insane. It was like what? I mean, nuts.
I mean, I think a lot of the young kids have come out and started playing really, really well right off the bat. I haven't got to see a lot of the competition's young kids because there just haven't been many against the teams we've played. I know our young guys are balling out, like Mason Wynn, who's technically still really a rookie. Good, Josh. He's got the best batting average on the team. He looks good. Victor Scott looks fantastic.
Yeah, but he stays really good at bats too.
Oh,
yeah. Like that's the thing you like about Wynn. Like his hits aren't fake hits. He sees the ball really well.
He's making great contact. He's working counts. He is vastly improved over where he was at with his first 100 at bats he got to see last year. So, no, Mason Wynn looks great. Victor Scott looks better than advertised at the plate already. Got his first RBI. He's got a couple runs scored. He
looks good.
Bag. I mean, he's going to make a case to stay at center field for the Cardinals when Edman and Newt Bar come back and Carlson comes back, but I still think they're going to send him down.
Susie Jackson Merrill, I've seen so many tweets.
He got it against us.
I've seen so many tweets again. She tweets. I am on the Jackson Merrill. I'm like, who is this guy? She tweets about him so much. So I've been watching him. Graham Pauly also gets his first hit as well in the game as well. Blaze Alexander, Bobby Miller for the Dodgers. He came up last year. He looks really good as well. Go ahead, Josh.
Jordan Maroney knows. Jordan Maroney's buddy is the brother-in-law to Blaze Alexander. So when he was getting called up, we were live on air for our 314 show, and he got that text message that it was happening. So we got to announce that on air, and then he got his first home run, and I was like, we just talked about this guy.
He got it right there with it. He got so yeah, that was him. Those are a few young guys as well. But Churrillo, he really looks. I'm sorry, Josh, you guys are dealing with this guy for a while. Jack Jones, we'll see how he ends up going with them in the division with the Pirates. His stuff looks really good as well. All we know about Cruz. We'll see whether Lodolo comes back for the Reds, how he comes back as the lefty for them here in a few weeks. Francisco Alvarez, we talked about the Mets a little bit. He is off to a good start as a catcher. Obviously batting 400s, that's not going to continue. He does look like the real deal though, as an offensive defensive catcher. I'm wondering It's so weird with because like you have those Gary Sanchez examples where it's like, man, you have those 3-year bursts with these in that position. It's such a weird position sometimes where it's like, man, they're great, but it's so short lived. I feel like Alvarez is better than that.
It's almost the same thing with the relief pitchers.
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, they'll have a good year, and then they'll have a mediocre year, then they'll have a better year, and then they'll have a bad year. Or closers are the same way.
Well, no, that's true. No, I hear you on that. That is part of it for sure. There is that part with it. So I just feel like with the young guys here performing, it does give the MLB, and we know Holiday's coming up soon. We know Skeen's coming up. Well, like I feel like it's kind of you have that Harper generation that's kind of now that second part of it a little bit. You have that McCutchen generation that's now moving on. You have now that Harper generation that's kind of that next older generation. And then you have like these young guys like the Sotos and all those. And then you have now this next generation with Holidays and Chirrillo. So it kind of comes in layers, right, as you move along.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of fun to watch as the season ends. And like honestly, as we've been doing the show the last 2 years, I kind of picked up on it a little bit more with these young guys with it moving forward. So the Brewers, as our guy here says, I think they're going to be a tough out here moving forward because, I love, like I said, I still think they have the best pitcher in the division. He's just not healthy right now.
Yeah, so they don't really have.
They get him back in the second half, though. Well, they get him back in June.
Are they going to be in it still by the end of the year?
They're off to a good start right now. I think Yelich, he is a big part of their kind of move here. And then you have Hoskins that came back. Yelich, I mean, he's a former MVP. They signed him to a big deal. He should be pretty good. He's had bad years out of these contracts, like with that contract. Maybe he's due for like a consistent year now. That takes him to another level if he's back to like a Charlie Blackmon level from like a few years ago from the Rockies. Like just that type of left-handed hitter, I feel like Yelich can give him a little bit of a boost there. So we'll see. And then you have this rookie that gives you life. I think the Brewers are going to be tough, man. That division, along with the Reds, where we haven't even really talked about the Reds, they're going to be tough too.
I'm looking something up. Go ahead.
I think the Reds are going to be tough too. I really do. I think they're going to be like they're one of those teams where I see them battling throughout the season, like hanging in that division. And then the Cup. I mean, so that division is going to be really tough throughout it. So I really look forward to that one with it moving forward. So those young guns and what they're a part of is going to be kind of interesting for me.
So the last time Yelich had a real good season was 2019. That's the last time he was an All-Star. He finished second in MVP.
What did he bat last year?
Last year he was 278. The year before that 252. The year before that 248. The year before that 205.
Yep. So he was terrible, but last year was kind of his first bounce back year in a while.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
And so I'm saying maybe this year he's kind of got, a couple other guys. So you're right. They do have a couple other young guys too on the team. But he's just the guy where I watch him. I'm Susie. I'm like, he's up guys right here. He's up the bat. I'm watching right there. Yeah. Ortiz is
Frelick. Frelick is scary.
Frelick is good too. Frelick is really good too. You think he's better than Chirrillo?
I can't say that. I'm just saying. No,
Chirrillo seems electric. That's the thing. Like
he seems like a difference maker. He'll be the star.
Like the electricity to the team. That's the difference where I see with them with it.
But the fact is, they're going to have this good young core. So here's the thing: like everybody, the Central's going to be bad for a couple years. It's just going to be what it is.
Well, maybe not.
But as long as the owners of these teams don't go and sell all their young pieces, the NL Central is going to be the division by 2027, 2028. It's going to be it.
I think that hinges a lot on the Pirates and Reds always in your division. Because they're usually the sellers.
Right. If they hang on for once and they change their philosophy, the Milwaukee's going to be good, Pittsburgh's going to be good, Cincinnati's going to be good, and St. Louis is going to continue to be what St. Louis has historically been.
Susie, your knowledge is sick. It's sick. It's unreal, your knowledge.
For somebody who's been watching the game for 3 years, yes, she is phenomenal.
It's like my son. I'm like, she must read the box scores every day. I appreciate it. The only one I didn't know was the Frelick guy right away, but I knew Ortiz. So Susie, you're on me on that one. I always appreciate your information on it with it. Jack Jones, he's the guy though. I'm kind of was fired up to see he pitched well with it. So I was glad to see him pitch well too this week with it. And we got Alvarez on my other. They are an exciting team. I always told my son's like, because he knows I like the Pirates obviously a little bit as a kid. Kind of always grown up with my Pirates hat here, and I always wear it to work and stuff like that. So everybody knows I've always been a little bit of a Pirates fan here. So it's kind of fun. Even where the school I work, everybody's like, "Your Pirates are 6-1." I'm like, I'm actually not really a Pirates fan yet. I'm just kind of like, I just wear the hat, So, hey, I got diamond notes on the board here with it, but I kind of want to extend our segment here. It doesn't have to be like our quick diamond notes with it. Peter Gaiman shout out here with it. A couple notes from it. I got a little stuff at the bottom as well going on the ticker here with it. Diamond notes, kind of our little segment where me and Josh like to kind of talk about some of the other notes around the week that have happened in the MLB. We talked about Blanco. He throws the no-hitter there for the MLB. No-hitters, they never get old, though. Like, when you have one guy throw 9 innings, it's a pretty cool thing. So you don't get to see it all that often. He gets that done for the Astros. For me, Mookie Betts, his 49th leadoff home run. Pretty crazy stat. I have at the bottom on the ticker here kind of the other guys that are in front of him if you're following along here. Rangers, third baseman, bad news. Josh Jung, my fan, my guy Adam Darwish out there, Rangers fan out here in the Bay Area. He goes down with a wrist injury. He gets out. He's out for 6 weeks. Another tough blow for him. So some of those, I got some other diamond notes below on the ticker as well. No hitters. They never get old, Josh.
No. How can a no-hitter ever get old? A no-hitter. I'd rather watch a no-hitter.
Susie, how fired up were you for that no-hitter?
Susie, have you ever got to watch a no-hitter by one of your own players?
There was a combined. I know the Astros had at least one
combined don't count. I don't know if she's ever going to watch one of her own.
Verlander never threw one in a day.
I don't know. I don't know if she. I don't know.
How about Mookie Betts? 49. Ricky Henderson has 81. Will he pass him?
He's got a chance.
Springer has 57.
See, that was a surprise to me. I didn't know Springer had that many. When I saw that on the list, I was like, really? Really? I had no idea.
Hey, my guy out here, I got to shout him out. My guy C. Wood. He always retweets our stuff. Josh here, 7th inning stretch. I've kind of communicated with throughout the years. He's out there in Alabama. Knows his Crimson Tide fan out there. His Crimson Tide in the Final Four. C. Wood, appreciate you tuning in. He's also a Cardinals fan though, as well. I hope all's good with you, my friend. I will be pulling for your Alabama Crimson Tide against UConn this weekend in the Final Four. So I hope they do well there, C. Wood. With that, appreciate you tuning in. We talked a little bit of Cardinals a little earlier with it. We're going to touch on that with the NL Central looking good there with it. We're talking about the Astros here with the no-hitter at the moment. C. Wood, appreciate you though, my friend, as always. Excited with that. I bet you were excited. I watched all of them since 2022, so she's seen all the no-hitters since then with it. Yeah, Springer. It's funny because you have Springer, Astro, Biggio, Astro. So you have those 2 guys on there. Then you have Henderson, 81. Man, that's pretty obscene, though, 81 leadoff home runs. That's ridiculous. I think Betts is still 32 away from tying that. Is pretty nuts.
How old is Betts? Hold on. I got you.
31, 32.
He is 31 years old and 180 days from Nashville, Tennessee, born in 92. 31 years old. Can he get another 30?
Sure.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
He can. I mean, the man's playing shortstop. He plays second. He plays third. Was he going to catch next year? I mean, my goodness. He should. He just should catch next year.
Just to put it on his resume. I mean, I'm sure he could do it. I'm sure he could do it.
Susie, how is the score sheeting going? Are you doing all right now? I used to do that for a little league once in a while. Andrew Vaughn, Wade's struggling a little bit right now, but like his dad, when I used to coach their team, like we'd have certain man. He's like, "Hey, can you do the score sheet for us?" And I'd be like, "All right, I'm doing the score sheet for him," because I was like 22 at the time, and he's doing it like I'm like, this is little league. I'm still having a hard time. So yeah, if you had to do it for the big leagues, a little like this, Susie, I always love that you're doing that. Green cards have been asleep at the wheel for a while now. Josh has been saying that for a while here, but he does have confidence this year. He does think they're going to come back. The move innings, moving innings are part of it. You have to do that with it for sure. So I just think Betts. I'll always say this, Josh. That Red Sox trade to the Dodgers is just, I think in our lifetime, when we're alive, is going to go down one of the worst baseball trades of all time.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Like how
pathetic.
can you name one off the top of your head that was worse?
I just can't at the moment because it's so bad. It's that one. Like I know there's other ones, but that one is.
I don't know if it's
Like,
gonna be that bad.
I know more from the other. Like that one to me just sticks out. It's like, my God, that was just like, what are we doing from the beginning? Like that is just not good, not smart baseball whatsoever. So I just never understood that one whatsoever. I don't know. So Mets on fire. The Dodgers. Ohtani hits his first home run last night for the Dodgers. My son, like I said, he's into it now a little bit, so he's fired up. I'm like, son, if you like the Dodgers, just letting you know, you will get a lot of crap if you wear a Dodgers hat around here. So I was kind of bracing him for that if he does get a little bit.
You gotta not beat on him, but mental. Nah, I can't say that. Never mind. You have to toughen him up.
I'm a free agent right now, so he could be a free agent too. I'm not even. He's like, "How about your A's, Dad?" I was like, I don't know, son. I was like, I don't know how I feel about him right now. Like, I don't know how I feel about my Sacramento A's at the moment. For Josh Fields, yeah. We hit that with it. That's not a bad deal. Josh Fields from the Steelers. No, I'm just kidding. Quarterback.
You mean Justin Fields? Justin Fields.
I know. I'm just kidding. Jordan Alvarez. I think he might be. We're going to do a home run draft later, Susie. He might be on my list. We'll see if I can get him with it as well. So those are my diamond notes coming from the weeks. Got him at the bottom as well. Like I said, Yelich playing well. I felt the Brewers, I just feel like that's a little bit of a thing with it. Bryce Harper, 3 home runs.
Yeah.
3 bombs? That's not bad as well, man.
It's not as good as – it's not nearly as impressive as 2 grand slams in the same inning.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, baby.
Fernando Tatis, are you out there? One of those big ones with it.
That's why his son will never be as good as he was.
Yeah, because of that with it. Who do you got for your home run picks this week? I'll let you go. You want me to go first or you?
I want you to go first because I prep for you to go first. You go first.
All right. Yonder Diaz. I have Yonder Diaz. Thank you. You're my fantasy baseball savior on my team in the last few years, so thank you for him. With it. All right. So the home run draft, I was thinking with me and Josh throughout the year, 7th inning stretch. This year, so we do the show every Thursday. We'll pick a guy. We can only get him once during the first half. Then we can pick him again in the second half of the season if we want. We'll kind of see how that goes heading into the next year. But the idea is between me and Josh, who wins, but what player has the most home runs by the next time we record next Thursday. So that's the idea with it. So we'll kind of pick a random guy. We can only pick him once to it. So I'm going to go American League first. I'm going to pick, believe it or not, I'm going to go Marcus Semien. That's going to be my pick this week.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I picked a different Ranger.
All right, who you got?
Dallas Garcia.
All right, I like it. So we both.
Okay, hold on. You sent out a message this week.
Yeah.
There was a picture of him side by side. I'm not saying he's juicing, but dude looks compared to what he looked like last year. And I don't know if it was the camera angle, but I mean, he just went. I mean, his face he looks beefy. He looks so beefy.
Susie probably pissed. We both picked 2 Rangers. Sorry, Marcus Semien has a little bit of a. He went to Cal out here, got to see him play at college out here, and then he went to the A's. So I do like Marcus out here a little bit. But that's the guy, because like I said, I want one player for half, so I can't pick all of them. All right, so that's what. Sorry, he's got
one.
His head even got bigger.
His arms look bigger too. His arms look bigger too.
He does seem like he is he's on the rock diet right now. He's on the rock diet.
Exactly. He's probably doing carnivore. That's probably what he's doing.
What's that fillet? What's that fish he eats? Little fillet fish out there, little salmon, a lot of salmon out there. He's eating that.
Probably.
So we got that for all right. NL. I'll give you the first pick for NL. Who do you got?
Tatis Jr.
All right, I'm gonna write. We got Tatis Jr. Can't use him for the rest. I like it. I'm gonna go the Mets. Pete Alonso after his big hit, a big home run today. Tie it up.
I'm gonna take the polar bear, the polar crybaby.
I'm gonna take the polar bear to stand up. My guy CP out there, Aaron. So that's our home run draft. I kind of like the idea of us doing this. I kind of yeah. I was gonna make your head get out, get bigger, bro. That is true. I did not do it. Susie, would you be this upset if they beat you? They didn't beat you. I wonder, as an Astros fan, is that like the Giants and A's? Like Tyler is my best friend, right? He's a Giant. I wonder how that is for Rangers A's, or Rangers Astros, how close that kind of relationship is. Like people you work with more likely are working with a Rangers fan, or is it kind of you have to go 3 hours or that kind of deal? So it's got like I don't have many Kings fans in my area. Like that's like I don't have Sacramento Kings like in this area. So that's gotta like I'd be curious what that little thing is with it. So all right, Josh, I kind of like the idea of us doing this every week though. I think it'll be kind of and it'll be a little fun way for us to keep track, even if it's 1 home run to 0, right? That's you won.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's what we'll make fun of it.
That's the way I'll win.
And we have a guy to kind of look forward to every week. I can text you and be like, "Hey, yes, that boy Pete Alonso with a home run that in your face right there." So me and you have a little trash talking that we can do as well.
The polar crybaby.
I only started disliking the Rangers. My friend's a Rangers fan here. I've always not liked the Rangers, but he always his Rangers have always been terrible. So the fact that they're good is kind of a shock in his lifetime.
I mean, they were good in 2011. They just
okay, but I'm a 2000 fan, so like you're talking about A-Rod signing in 2002, and like I'm a fan for a long time. Like the Rangers were not good for a long time, so that's where they're at. But then they were good for a while with it, but also TX people are weird.
I mean, no, you can't now because they're in the same league. If they were in different, like if Houston was still in the National League, yeah, you could like both.
We were talking about that. We wish they were in the NL Central still.
Oh God, I would love to have them back. I would love to have them back. I'd get rid of Milwaukee in a heartbeat to have them back.
You guys had so many great games together.
Oh, dude, it was so much. Dude, the late 90s, early 2000s, Cardinals, Astros. I mean, it was better than. I can't say it was better than Cardinals and Cubs, but it matched the Cardinals and Cubs.
No, right? It was better. It was better.
See, I don't know because you still had.
They never played real games together.
But at the end of the 90s, you still had the home run race between Soto and
home run race, but it wasn't real games. It wasn't like serious baseball.
Oh, fine.
That's the difference. Like you got Edmonds, and you had like Berkman, you had like Lidge, you had like real moments back then with it. All right, can I get to you with it? MLB trivia. We're getting to the hour mark here of the show.
Fine, kill me again.
Who am I, Josh? Your trivia here with it. I'm going to be in your era again. I played 16 years in the MLB from 2000 to 2015. Was in the AL 15 of those 16 years as a starting pitcher. You want to throw out a guess, or you kind of need hit number 2 here on it?
Go to 2.
All right, so before I get hit number 2 here, let me get it up on the screen just so I can have it ready to go with it. All right, hit number 2, ready to go here with. Let me get the comment up here on the screen. Susie, if you can get this one, I'll be impressed with it. Of the question, legit had no idea Cards had beef with the Astros. Sorry.
It's a respected rivalry. It's not beef.
It is.
It's a very respected rivalry.
You guys, I remember those were some of the best games watching you guys play. I remember as a kid, these are great games. I'm willing to watch these ones all day long. So give me those. All right, hit number 1. Like I said, who am I? Trivia of the week. Played 16 years from 2000 to 2015. Josh needs hit number 2 here. I am a 5-time All-Star, and I won 4 straight Gold Gloves as a starting pitcher from 2009 to 2012. So I feel like that's a pretty good hit.
That's a pretty big hit. I'm sitting here. Okay, hold on. Hey, Gold Glove pitcher, 4 years in a row.
You know I'm going to have a video attached with this player at some point. Josh knows that's coming here.
09.
All right. Don't look at the comments, all right?
I'm not looking at the comments.
Right,
so my eyes are shut.
Do not look at it.
It's not Tim Wakefield, is it?
No, but Susie, hang on. I think you'll enjoy the video. There's part of the reason we're doing it is because maybe I'll give you a hint. Maybe one of Susie's players did something special. This week, last hint here, I won a World Series in 2005, and I also throw left-handed.
Who won the 05 World Series? It wasn't the Yankees. It wasn't Boston.
He's not in the league anymore. He retired in 2015. It's been a while. So yeah, Susie would have been past your time a little bit. His last year was on the Marlins. If I give you the team in 2005, Josh, it will be automatic. So it was the White Sox that won in 2005.
Oh, it was the White Sox.
Yes.
Oh,
the biggest clues, right?
Shoot, I still can't. I'm not drawing on that. Go ahead and just hit me with it. Just make me laughing stock.
Let's go to the stage, baby. Here we go. Mark Burley is our answer.
Oh, Burley.
Deep in left center field. Back. Makes the catch.
He perfect.
Alexei. Yes!
First base run of the ball game for the Texas Rangers. Just a couple of walks. Burley got it.
Down ball. Greedy. Yes! Mark Burley, a no-hitter against the Texas Rangers.
The second to one. The relay is in time. The 0-2. A swing and a ground ball to third. Uribe to second one. Harris relay.
Burley was one of those players. He was like in that Mark Mulder era where he didn't throw hard enough, but he did it. Jeff Blunt. I only Jeff jumped from that team. Yeah, he was on that team 2005 there with it. You're right. That's good knowledge. Burley for me was always one of those pitchers where you're like,
see, Kerry makes me feel better because I would have never came up with Burley. I didn't know he was a 4-time Gold Glover.
He was a little bit like he was like a level better than Dallas Braden as an A's fan. Like he had that lefty stuff where he kind of like fooled you, but he threw a little harder. He kind of had a little bit. He was healthier. That's who he reminded me of with Burley. He was a beast. I mean, he was, and the thing that and a lot of people forget: 4 straight Gold Gloves, not to 4-time, 4 straight, 5-time All-Star. You know, like you forget about him, right? And a perfect game and a no-hitter.
That's He never came to mind. You make me feel less and less of a baseball fan every week.
I like the knowledge. I don't like to do that. I like to give you a little bit more knowledge of it. Kind of like Scott Pazitsky out there. He was the guy for the White Sox. Tyler, we always used to like, but the Scott Pazitsky out there that was part of the team name. With it, I don't like to make you feel silly, but it's funny to think the White Sox they won the World Series. Like, right?
I totally forgot they won it. Like, I was like, hold on, who won it?
Hey, who did they beat? Don't tell Susie. Don't tell Susie who they beat. Don't tell her who they beat that way. Don't tell her.
I don't even remember them winning it. I'm not going to be able to tell you who they beat.
It's the Astros. That was the hit on that one, by sir. That was the one. They beat the Astros 4-0. They swept the White Sox. They had Contreras. Jose Contreras pitched exceptionally in that game as well. So a lot of big moments in that one. All right, as we kind of wrap up the podcast here, I would appreciate anybody tuning in. C Wood, I appreciate you tuning in. I know I just appreciate your work. Like I love like everything you do. Like I just kind of love it. So I appreciate you kind of joining on the baseball side. I can tell you like your Cardinals too. So I appreciate anytime you want to comment in. Love to have you on too. Whatever.
Talk Cardinals, Carrie. Come on.
Even if you want to like just be a comment in with it, I'd love it. So here's some trivia for you. I know who they beat. Yeah, I know who they beat. Yeah, Susie knows that. She knows that. They beat the Astros. She knows that with it. So I love that. All right. As we get to that part with it, who leads the MLB at stolen bases? Okay, is it the guy on the Brewers that shortstop
this season?
Is it like Tahonga? I can't think of his name. I picked him up in fantasy baseball. Susie, is that who it is right now? It's this guy on the Brewers. It's shortstop. I just can't think of his name. Is that who it is?
Hold on. Let me think. Who was?
I'm thinking it's.
I don't think it's the guy on the Brewers.
I gotta forgot who. I gotta think it's the guy.
Oh, it is Bryce Terang.
Yes, thank you. And he got a concussion. Fantasy baseball. Thank you for the knowledge once in a while. That's why Tyler McGurk had to quit. He's not as in deep in that with it. Kind of forgot.
I think that's hurt me this year because I'm not playing this year.
Hey, here I wanted to get this video up with you on the stage this week because, okay, my son he bought MLB he's 8 years old. He bought MLB 2K24. So it's the first game he bought. He had to actually spend money on it that people got him like. I'm like, dude, you spent $60 on a video game. You need to play this a lot if you're gonna or at least you're gonna get you need to understand what you're buying. And so when he showed it to me, I was like, is that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the cover? And I thought that was kind of funny because for me, Guerrero, I remember going to Pac Bell Park Giants, like he's played on the Expos, hitting like triples and all that stuff. So watching it, then I'm like, my freaking God, I am getting old. Like I am getting absolutely old. I don't even want to talk about Jordan Walker. Yes, Jordan Walker Logan Stone says he sucks here on the Logan. Save that for it. Logan, I don't care.
You're late to the show, Logan.
Let's see what we already talked about that. You can watch it with it. So here's the video for the week on it. On a TBS old broadcast.
Oh,
out
so
here.
Montreal and Atlanta here. We go.
Yeah, old broadcast there on TBS. So for me, like I said, TBS games came on at 4:10, 4:20. Here's Vladimir Guerrero Sr. up to bat here. Here we go.
It's the best closer in the league, and you're only down by 2. This is a white flag.
Fly ball, pretty well hit to right field. Back goes Dye into the corner. Looks up. That ball is gone.
Like I said, it's a brilliant move. No, it's not. It's a lucky move. That's something that just absolutely happened.
First career home run.
That was
it turned out well for the Expos.
Wow.
Trying to think with Alou. I guess he figures the kid's a good fastball hitter, and he's got a fastball pitcher out there. It certainly worked. So it's a one-run ball game.
What year was that?
Brewers has to shake that off.
This looked like a good pitch out away from him. May not have been a strike. But boy, he leaned out there and drilled it.
Just inside the pole.
Josh, I've had this one on the docket for literally a year and a half waiting to get on here. Seawood, you put it best. Best bad ball hitter ever. There really is nobody better than him at it. For the power, especially he had. And then we had the one with Larry Walker. Remember with the Expos a few weeks ago with that. I just thought that was funny too because I don't know if you heard at the beginning. He's like, I don't know why you're pinch hitting this guy here, and then he hits the home run. He's like, well, that's a lucky move. And it's like, well, this lucky move is a Hall of Famer, so maybe not that lucky of a move. Like at the end of the day, but
they knew what they had.
Exactly. The fact that he hits a home run on like just this to right field is kind of like how I meant about Altuve boogie whipping to left field. It's just, he's just a sick player. That's a sick.
Some guys just have it, man. I mean, some guys are just blessed by God to play the game of baseball so we can enjoy it.
That's
kind of what we need to do. Just
kind of a fun video, though, looking back at TBS, too, huh?
Just so you got to remember, so being in Indiana, I had WGN and I had TBS, and I could never watch the Cardinals. So I watched a lot of Cubs, a lot of White Sox, and this is what I'm talking about when I was a kid, like 90s, and a lot of Braves.
Man, that's what I say. As a West Coast man, I got lucky out there. I got the fact that I was able to get WGN at 11, TBS at 4, and then the A's and Giants both together. I won't have that luxury anymore with it, but the MLB packs will allow. But Vlad Daddy is one of the best cards in MLB in the show. Yeah. So you get that with it. My son, I just love that he's into baseball now. Josh, kind of into the video game. It kind of makes it fun for me, and that's why I like doing these little flashback videos.
Well, that's the cool thing with this version of the show. When you're doing your dynasty thing, you get a lot of I have Roberto Clemente.
Okay, so you get
somehow I got him. I was like, oh, that's cool. I got Nolan Arenado and Roberto Clemente. That was my opening pack. So, no, I think this game they really tried to incorporate a lot of history into it, and
got it with baseball.
A lot of things that they didn't do or haven't done in the past, and I am thoroughly surprised with the game.
Like I said, I'm an A's fan that just got effing screwed tonight, and I'm still loving the game. I'm serious. I love the game, and I literally got my heart taken out today. And for the last couple of years, but on this game, for me, it's different because I've loved it since I was a kid at a different level, and I just appreciate it differently. But I understand there's a business side to it, and I understand what the Raiders getting. So for me, it's a big history with it. But I don't know. I love Ted Williams. Maybe if we can get him out of the freezer, we can get him Ted Williams back out of here, Logan. We get him for you there.
I wasn't going to say it. My
guy Seawood, I appreciate you tuning in tonight. I really do, Seawood. Appreciate you tuning in. My guy Susie, always love your comments. I love your podcast. So keep up the good work there with it. Tyler, appreciate you tuning in as well. Everybody that's retweeted at BS in Sports, all those guys with it. Logan, appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't get it on. I know you're going to Europe here in a few weeks for work.
Euro trip.
Going for work there, so we got that. Josh, did I go wrong tonight anywhere?
I'm not going to beat you up. I beat you up pretty bad last week.
I deserve to get beat up once in a while.
Every once in a while, but you're too good of a guy for me to beat on every week. It's not like you're Logan where I can just come swinging every time we get on air.
No. See, what? No problem. I appreciate you, man. I really do. I just think as people, when you're on social media, you kind of, you feel people out and you're like, who, you know what I mean? Like you really do have that game where you're like with it and like you're kind of getting, he just is, you can tell he's real with it. So I always appreciate his stuff on that. I know Alabama football will always be reading up that one, especially after your quarterback article. I'll never derail you again. See what on with that with it. So you got that right with it. Appreciate that. Great show with it. 7 days, baby. Yes, you're headed out there with it. Josh, we picked our homer picks. We'll be back together in 7 days as well. Another great show, my friend. I always appreciate doing the shows with you.
That's because you're the best, man.
All right. For Josh Edwards, for myself, there, Briar Fat Boy, Fadeaway Sports. We appreciate anybody that kind of commented. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the all the comments. It really makes us better, makes us want to be better on the show, inspires us with it. So appreciate you guys. Baseball's back, baby. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
See you.